I'm going crazy here. So there's something that happened last night, but I have to give you the backstory first. So 9 years ago, when my son Dylan was 8, I was playing my turntable in here, and I was playing this song, Bright Size Life, Pat Metheny's song. And I said to Dylan, isn't it cool how it goes from G to B flat to D? And right when it hit the D chord, I played the note D on the piano, and I was shocked. I was like, oh my God. So this, I said, oh my God, my turntable's running sharp. It's running too fast, so the pitches are... I said, Dylan, didn't you notice that the turntable's out of tune? He says, how would I know? I've never heard the song before. And I said, what? So I started thinking about this for days and days, and I thought, well, maybe to Dylan, he's never heard the song, and he probably hears stuff that's out of pitch all the time. Because there's many songs, Beatles songs, Stone songs, Soundgarden songs that are sped up or slowed down that are not quite in pitch. Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix songs that he had heard, and so maybe he's thinking, okay, I've never heard the song. There's a lot of things that aren't quite in pitch. So last night, Dylan's practicing his guitar for a concert tonight, and I told him, if anything happens, don't stop playing if you make a mistake or something. So as he's playing, his A string slips out of tune. So I said to my wife, man, you hear how out of tune that is? She says, what are you talking about? I said, his guitar is out of tune. She's like, how would I know it's out of tune? I've never heard the song before. I was like, what? Wait, what do you mean? She's like, I've never heard the song. How would I know if it's out of tune? I said, it's out of tune with itself. I don't know what you're talking about. He finished the song. I said, Dylan, bring your guitar down here for a second with your tuner. So he brings the guitar downstairs. I put the headstock tuner on. He's got a left-handed guitar, and I play the low E string. And I show my wife, the thing comes up to the center, and it lights up the green light. I said, that means it's in tune. And then I play the A string, and the red light is to the left, and it's flat. I said, means it's flat. And then I play the string, and I turn it, and then it goes up, and it hits the green light. And I said, now it's in tune. And I play the power chords, and the guitar's in tune. She's like, I don't get it. So later last night, I'm FaceTiming with my two sisters. And they said to me, hey, doesn't Dylan have a concert tomorrow night he's playing guitar at? I said, yeah. Is he practicing for it? Yeah, as a matter of fact, he was just practicing a little while ago, and one of his strings went out of tune. And I said to Nina, oh my God, hear how out of tune that is? And she says, how would I know? I don't know the song. And they said to me, yeah, how would she know if it's out of tune if she doesn't know the song? I was like, what are you talking about? The guitar's out of tune with itself. I don't know what you mean. They both said this to me. I said, what do you mean you don't know what I mean? So I pick up this guitar and I said, hear this? That sounds good, right? That's a C chord. Okay, what if I do this? Does this sound good? And they're like, oh, that sounds terrible. I said, that sounds terrible because it's out of tune. So I'm thinking to myself, there must be something wrong with me. People don't know what in tune and out of tune means. And I'm thinking, like, when I make these videos and I say, oh, that's really flat. Oh, that's flat. People are like, what is he even talking about? So this morning, I'm driving my 11-year-old Layla to school. I'm going to ask Layla this thing. So I said, hey, Layla, you know, last night, remember when Dylan was practicing his guitar? And she said, yeah. I said, you know, I said to Mom, Dylan's guitar is way out of tune. Don't you notice that? And she said, how would I know? I don't know the song. And Layla says, how would Mom know if she doesn't know the song? I'm like, what, again? She's like, yeah, you know, like heart-shaped box is tuned down a half step. How would Mom know that? I said, no. The guitar is out of tune with itself. Like one of the strings is out of tune. Oh, well, I would know that. So I'm completely obsessed with this thing now that you guys out there, do you even know what I mean when I say something is out of tune? Because there's different things. It can be out of tune with standard pitch. It can be out of tune with itself. I mean, typically when I say something is out of tune, I mean it's out of tune with the other instruments around it. Or it's out of tune with itself. Like this one string is way flat. If I tune it up like that, and I play the chord, it sounds in tune. In tune, out of tune is related to some standard of pitch, whatever it is. Many times you'll have songs that are out of tune with standard tuning, so you have to retune your guitar in order to play along with it. If you play Black Hole Sun, or if you play a Van Halen song, or Jimi Hendrix songs, or Beatles songs, you have to retune your guitar because the tape has been sped up or slowed down, which changes the pitch. But I just assume that people understand in tune versus out of tune. And here's the weird thing, is that nowadays people are so attuned to things being in tune because of auto-tune, that when they hear something that's out of tune, it bothers them. They actually realize, oh, that sounds bad. Yeah, because it's not tuned to death. And the same thing is happening with rhythm. So many of the songs that you hear today use programming, or if they use acoustic instruments, they've actually been fixed to a grid, meaning they've been cut up and quantized, so they're essentially like a drum machine. So if you hear somebody playing without a click, it sounds weird because it has a human feel. Or if they hear somebody that sings like a bluesy note or something that maybe go a little bit low or whatever that makes it sound bluesy, it sounds weird to them because they're hyper attuned to things that are in tune because of auto-tune. Am I crazy? I feel like I'm crazy. Love to know your thoughts. I know you have opinions on this. Leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.